Hello everyone, welcome to another video. So today we'll be looking at another topic, one which students really would find very valuable, and it is solving algebraic equations. So I just want to make a big shout out before I start the video to all the persons that are watching and subscribing. Persons from Jamaica, persons from India, and persons from Indonesia. Please continue to subscribe. So let's move on. So before we even start talking about solving these types of equations, we need to remind ourselves about the orders of operation that will make things much easier for us when you're interpreting these questions. Which we know we have the bracket first, then we'll start off with the order, meaning exponent. Next, I place division, then multiplication, but I want you to understand something when you're working with these two, and it's that both division and multiplication share similar precedence. Also for addition and subtraction, similar precedence. Meaning, once they're on the same level, then both of them will have same precedence. That's what I mean about similar precedence. All right, so we're going to move on now in terms of solving these types of equations. Let's start off with something basic. So let's say we have x plus 3 equals 17. First of all, we recognize here, this is saying to us that a number x added to 3 gives us the number 17. If you are at home guessing right now, I know you would say that the number that is added to 3 is 14. But have you ever thought about how you have gotten that answer before? Let's check. I want you to notice carefully the sign that is happening right here. This is an addition sign, right? We also are going to look at the inverses of these operations, or specifically the operations that we looked at previously. So one of them which we looked at was addition. And if you have guessed it already, the inverse of addition, yes, is subtraction. Let us subtract 3 from both sides. So you have a left-hand side of the equation, which is the side that says x plus 3, and the right-hand side of the equation, which says 17. Subtracting 3 from both sides would mean that this will cancel out to become 0, which is x plus 0. Same thing as, yes, x, because anything added to 0 is itself. Over on the right-hand side, we have 17 minus 3, which is right. You got it, 14. All right. Now that you have gotten this concept, I want you to try one more, or look at one more, which involves multiplication. And then we will join them together. What if I said to you, and in algebra, when you see 2x equals 4. So this basically means 2 times a number, x, is equal to 14. And our task is to know, or to determine, what x is. So in solving this equation, we still use the same principle for the inverses. So we have multiplication, and the inverse for multiplication is right, division. So we have multiplication, the inverse is division. Also, I want you to note that these also work in reverse. So multiplication inverse is division, while division's inverse is multiplication. So let's move on. So in order for us to get to the answer of x, that means we need to divide. Divide by 2 on both sides. So we still use the left and right principle. Whichever we do to left side, we also do it to right hand side. That's what we mean when we say left and right. All right. So let us finish this off. We know that this will cancel out the 2's and leave 1 times x, which is x. And then on the right hand side, we are left with 7. Right, that is correct. Now we're going to move on where we'll have things in more complicated fashion now. So let's look at this question. 3 times a number x plus 6 is equal to 15. Now, our determination is to find x. So we need to look at the operations and the order in which they fall. First of all, we notice that the first thing being done is we times by 3. Because x is a number which is first being multiplied by 3. And if you remember your order of operations, you know that multiplication precedes addition. Then the next thing here is we added a 6. And we're good to go. Now we need the inverse. When you're solving equations, we also, while looking at the inverse, we also look at the order and try to go into the reverse direction in order for us to find the solution. So going in the reverse direction, since we multiplied 3 first, going in this direction, now going back in this direction, we first need to subtract the number 6, right? Then the inverse of multiplication, which is division, means we will divide by 3 last. Let's work this and see if we can get a solution out of it. So working on both sides, as we always do, first thing we need to do is to subtract 6. So let's go on both sides. After subtracting 6, we are left with 3x because we already know that this 6 will cancel the negative 6. So this will leave us with 3x, which is equal to 9. Then moving forward now, in order for us to achieve the value of x, then the last step would be to divide. So we'll divide by 3 on both sides. Hence, when we are left with x on that left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, the only thing that remains is 3, because 3 into 9 goes 3 times, right? That's correct. So that means x has the value of 3. So I have one more to work just so that you will understand the concept in its entirety, so that you will not make common mistakes when you're approaching these questions. So let's look at one more example. Now I'm purposefully going to say 4 minus 2 times the number x gives us the answer 2. Now, if you look closely, we have a minus sign here, and we also have it in front of the portion that has the variable, which is x. When we attempt questions like these, our main goal is to get the positive value for x first so that we can solve the equations accordingly, or to make life easier for ourselves. So, using our balancing method, which we always would have used, we get the x to be positive first by adding 2x on both sides. So what this does is it transforms x to be positive, and then now it will fall on the other side of the equation. Now we can say that 4, because 4 will be left over here on the left, is equal to 2 plus 2x. Knowing that 2x and x cancels out, will leave us with 4 on the left side. On the right hand side, we'll be left with 2 plus 2x. Now, we still have our steps to go through, which is we have a 2 that's over there. This 2 is being added to our 2x. So in first step, we need to do subtraction, because let me draw them out so you can see it. We did multiply, by 2. Then we do plus 2. That means we do reverse of minus 2, then divide by 2. So let us work them out now. So to subtract, we need to subtract 2 on both sides. So we have 4 subtract 2, whilst on this side we have subtract 2 as well. The 2 will cancel the 2, meaning we're left with 2x on the right. Let me write out first. Whilst on the left, we're left with 4 minus 2, which is 2. Now to solve the equation in its entirety, we need to do the division part last. And if you guess what we divided by, yes, it's 2, which I already wrote up at the top. So if you're looking, you would have followed, and I am glad that you are. Now, 2 cancel 2, meaning the 2 into 2 goes 1 time, so 1 times x is basically itself. 2 into 2 again over on this side goes 1 time, so that means the solution for x is 1. This can be written both ways. So if you see it like this, to say 1 equal x, do not get paranoid or confused. It's basically the same as saying x equal 1. So whenever you meet up on problems like this, again, you will definitely not have any challenges anymore. I'll be posting some questions for you to do, so you can send them to me so that I know that you're following the concept. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me them. Send your comments so that you can be able to learn the concept more thoroughly. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have a fantastic day.